Welcome back to Madame Yasmin, where we glow more every day. We're going to be making a liquid body wash today using some leftover soap scraps. For those who usually use bar soap, there's always that little piece of soap left over that we don't know what to do with. Some people save their soap pieces and soap scraps for projects like this. And you can do this with your kids or just a community gathering, just a fun activity that is safe since the soaps are already cured. First, we're going to need to shred our soap and get it into smaller pieces so that it will melt easily. We're going to need a grater, something like this, so that we can shred our soaps. If you're familiar with these, you know there are different sizes available for you to choose from. So I go with the smallest, most practicable size, which is this part right here. I'm going to grate my soaps on that side so that I can get small, fine shreds of soap. I'm using my own cold processed soaps in this body wash. And here we have the grated soap, so you can see the size that I'm referring to. This is ideal so the soap will be able to melt quickly once you add the liquid component to it. We have our different soaps now grated together and ready to go. Now I'm going to be transferring our soap into a stainless steel bowl because we're going to be melting the soap. We're going to measure the weight of our soap and then we're going to add a liquid component to the mixture. So we have our soaps and I'm going to be taking about 300 grams of our shredded soap. Once I put all the soap in, I noticed I had 295 grams and I wanted an even 300 grams. So I just quickly shredded a little bit more soap to make it 300 grams. I happened to go over by 1 gram, but that is not too significant and can be overlooked. So I'm going to go ahead and now measure in our liquid component, which is rose water, and we're also going to be adding some clean, pure water. You can use rose water, you can use orange blossom water or any hydrosol that you have available. And you can also use distilled water. I insist on using distilled or pure water because that would slow down how long it takes for your body wash to go bad. Now, when any product has a lot of water in it, it needs a preservative. And in this case, we're not using a preservative. So the more hydrosol you use in your mixture, the better. The water should also be very clean to avoid any bacteria growing in your body wash. And if you end up with a large batch of body wash, you may want to keep some of it in the fridge so that it will last longer. I'm adding 150 grams of water, making 300 grams of the water component. I'm using equal amounts of shredded soap and rose water combined with pure water. You could eyeball it and adjust the amounts of water and soap according to the consistency that you are going for. So you can experiment, go with different percentages of water and soap, 60-40, 70-30, 50-50, until you are satisfied with the consistency that you've achieved. Once you see your soap taking on a gel-like consistency, it means that it's heating up, it's probably melting. I try not to stir the mixture too much, but once in a while I go in with my spoon to do a mix. You'll notice a lot of the time the thicker part of the soap comes on top and makes a layer on top of the soap. So once in a while I just go in and break up that layer and mix it back into the soap. Once the soaps are all melted, I'm going to pour the mixture and wait for it to cool down before I add any essential oils or fragrance oils to it. I'm also going to be straining it through a sieve to make sure that there are no clumps or anything that's going to choke up our tube in the pump bottle that we're going to use. If you are using cold processed soap, especially with extra fat in it, when this mixture cools down, you might notice a film of fat forming on top of your soap, but that's okay. All you need to do is just shake it up. We're going to add some lemongrass essential oil as well as some grapefruit essential oil. I'm going with more of the grapefruit than the lemongrass essential oil, so I'm doing 15 drops of lemongrass essential oil and then 30 drops of grapefruit essential oil. If you're using a pump bottle like this, you're going to need some room to put in your pump. So don't overfill your bottles. Leave a little bit of room at the top so that you can fix your pump without spilling any soap. You'll notice I used some of my soaps that had red and purple colors, so that gives my soap the color that you see here. Eventually, this soap is going to cool down and we're going to see a bit of a separation. I'll come back and show you what that looks like in a few hours. Right now though, I'm going to test how well our soap performs. So I'm going to put a little bit on my hand. This is without water and this is just the soap, just to see how it goes over the skin. And you can see here that it's really nice and creamy, putting it over the skin, and then I'm going to rinse it off and see how the lather feels like. This turned out really nice and also smells quite nice with the lemongrass and grapefruit essential oil combination. If you have any soaps lying around, try doing this, and you can also add a little bit of oil if you feel you need extra moisture. Here's our soap after it's been sitting for 8 hours, and you will notice the fatty film that has formed on top of the soap. Some people prefer to scoop this off before they put the soap into the bottles, but I just mix it back in by shaking the bottle because I believe the fatty elements are actually good for your skin. So there we have it, our liquid soap made from soap scraps. Give it a try and let me know how this went for you. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to see more from Madame Yasmin, and I'll see you in the next video.